All right, looks like we are live, but I am going to do a test with my team over there in Ireland to make sure you guys see me because last month I literally did 56 and a half minutes of a live stream for Second Sunday that had no sound and no video. So I am going to wait and see before I start gabbing about September. All right, we are live, and thank you guys for joining me. I will do my best to give you every ounce of information that I can possibly offer you for this month of September. What is going on energetically? What does that mean for you? Where are you in your life at this moment? And how can you hit the easy button? You know, we have been through hell in 2022. I think all of us have come in and out of hell. We have seen heaven. We have seen the possibilities. We have accessed possibilities. We're starting to kind of get our footing as far as who we are, but that does not mean that we know what the hell we're doing, right? So, me as a biohacker, I call myself an alchemist only because I love the art of turning darkness into power, turning lead into gold, turning something old into something new, turning pain into power. And I think that I have been like that since I was a child. And it is really fun for me to take what you would look at as a big hot mess and develop it into magic. And that is my most favorite thing to do on this planet. So with my biohacking program that I have now offering, it's very, very physical. It's not emotional, it's not etherical, it's body work. And it is not energy body work. It is primal, deep down into the crevices where your trauma is actually stored body work. And I am about to get on a plane in just a little while and meet my team of biohackers over in Dublin, where we are going to do a week-long integrative experience with some, I'm sure, very scared people that are showing up for us over there. And then we're going to take our little show on the road and we're going to hit Spain, hopefully do a day trip in Africa, but we'll see how it goes. We're just happy to be traveling again and, free to move about the planet. So now that we have learned our lessons from the story of COVID, that we are all supposed to go internal and recalibrate and kind of reconcile and resurrect ourselves, I think most of us are on that train of thought. So what I wanted to offer you guys this month as far as the 411 is first and foremost, kind of what's the haps? As we know, it feels like every time we turn around, there's another retrograde, there's another full moon, there's another new moon, and it's like in some sort of crazy pull of polarity. And that is what this year is. It's the catch 22, it's the rude awakening. And in this year, you are going to remember, put yourself back together. Alchemy means all of me. It means that all the parts of you that you've been ashamed of or disassociated from or didn't like so much, they've popped up in your relationships, they've popped up in your work, they've popped up in your money, they've popped up in your time issues, and you're getting to know them, whether you like it or not. So if we are on this process of becoming the alchemist, right, then we have to start working with all of me. And all of me is basically the parts of myself that I love, that the world gets to see, and the parts of the world that only my intimate relationships get to see, because intimacy means into me I see. So the closer you get to someone, the more your baggage starts to spill out. Whether you like it or not, it usually takes about 3 months for this to happen because of the way that you have built these walls around your baggage. They start to crumble when you start to feel vulnerable. They start to crumble when you start to tell people more about yourself, when you let your guard down, when you share space, when you share work, when you share money, when you share time. It's inevitable. You cannot keep the walls up and have intimate relationships. And this is why usually whether you have a twin flame or a soulmate by 3 months. And it's usually overflowing with joy. And then who the hell is this person? Or you're going, okay, your ego isn't so bad. Your pain is not so bad. It's kind of a match to mine. I think I can work with this. And that's really where the relationships are able to build right now. Otherwise, a lot of these relationships are causing us to retreat. And the September, at least in this idea of the fall beginning, your fall is going to begin. And that is not a bad that's not a bad thing. It's just like when new leaves need to come up in bud, we've got to let everything else go. You are being forced to learn how to let go this year. You're being forced to surrender. You've taken it as far as you could go in certain areas. You're going to need higher guidance. You're going to need parts of your lower self to finish this journey. And sometimes you'll feel like you're stopped, you're blocked, you're blocked, you're trapped, you're parked, you're idle, you're waiting. And in alchemy, we always teach that waiting is a reflection of where you have blocked yourself. Because there is no waiting in the universe. There is no true guru on this planet that would ever tell you to be patient. Patience is actually about alignment. When you're being asked to be patient or wait, don't wait. Don't be patient. It doesn't mean that you've done all that you can do and now you sit and you wait for your dinner time. Absolutely not. There's still work to be done, but it's not in the physical world. The wait and the waiting part, or the patience part, is done in your alignment, which means pulling yourself out of your physical reality. If your higher self or your life has stopped you somewhere, it just is telling you that you are not a match to what it is that you're desiring or what it is you're trying to do. There's that word try that means trauma. If you've hit a block, you've hit one of your traumas. What this trauma is telling you is that I can't go further with this belief system, with this pain I'm carrying in my body, because it's either not safe, I don't trust myself there, this has happened before and I've been hurt, right? I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, which is coming from a belief system or a trauma in lack or loss. So it's asking you every time you're stuck or blocked or trapped or parked or idle or waiting, instead, align. Find your alignment, which means you may need to integrate some of your darkness in that moment. You may need to look at some of your belief systems. You may need to look at some of the pain that you're kind of holding back. This is going to be fear of failure. Well, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't make any money at this? What if he doesn't like me? What if she doesn't like me? What if I can't show up and deliver? What if I, drop the ball? What if I get sick? What if I lose all my money? What if I, can't do what I say I can do? Good. That's who you're going to be meeting in the mirror. Because if you had the desire, what desire actually means, if you watched my webinar that was free and is now on YouTube called Healing Your Trauma Through Biohacking, is one of the things that we do with that is we look at it and we say, okay, is this real? Right? Is this belief system real? Okay, let me follow the thread. I taught you guys how to do self-quantum hypnosis in that webinar. I told you how to align and reconcile your masculine and feminine energy that has been traumatized by either having to turn yourself down around people or turn yourself up around people. And this causes atrophy in the other side of the hemisphere called universe. And when you do not have access to your divine masculine, you're not going to be a powerful moneymaker. If you do not have access to your divine feminine, you're not going to be the visionary. You're going to need to pay someone else to be a visionary. Now, ultimately, we are a complete package. We are the full present in the presence. But when we are in a traumatic situation, we are having to kind of puff ourselves up bigger in one area and shrink ourselves back smaller. So then when we face that finish line, we call the finish line failure, where you get to the very end of your rope and you fall, or you get to the very end and you break your leg, or you get to the very end and you lose something you need, or you get to the very end and your computer goes down. We call it the echo effect, and it's all formulated, which means that every single thing that's happening to you, I've probably taught specifically in a formula. And so you can never say like, well, what is happening? Every stage of your journey is going to be another booby trap. It's just looking at it kind of as if it is a treasure map. And you created the treasure on the end, and then you started it, and then you went to sleep, and halfway through you're waking up, and it's pulling you, but you're going to have to face yourself in the mirror, which means that Every time you blame someone, you go back 3 spaces, right? Every time you do not get out of that comfort zone and face the fears of not being good enough, then you're going to go back 3 steps, right? And this is going to be called your comfortable, uncomfortable zone. And it's never going to satisfy your soul, ever. And honestly, the more that the energy picks up speed and the more the retrogrades throw you around in the dryer, and the more that the solar flares cut you underneath the feet, and the more that your moon in astrology teaches you who you are in relationships, then you'll start to understand that you're going to need your alchemy to finish this journey. You're going to need every single part. Your higher expression, your inner child, is going to be able to get you into the right spaces. But the dark part of you has to get you into the state of being to be able to sustain it. If you have noticed that you have great ideas and you're following through and you're getting there, but you can't sustain it, then there is a piece of you that is left behind that needs to be integrated in through what we do in biohacking called the integration cycle. And this is about basically looking at Earth not as what is my purpose on Earth. Your journey on Earth is more of a reconnaissance mission. You're here to pick yourself up. You're here to go to sleep and wake up, go to sleep and wake up. But the parts of you that are asleep are the parts of you that are scared, alone, trapped, triggered, right? Pissed off, broke, alone. That is not really you, because you are connected to the fibers of everything else. And if you've had any kind of higher level hit of your internal lung crack pipe, or you've done some sort of plant medicine by now, I'm sure that you have experienced that integration. You have experienced that oneness. You have experienced that totality of unity within yourself. And so if you have experienced it, when you come out of that gamma energy, that gamma brainwave, and you move back into a theta and an alpha space within your brain, you're going to start to feel that separation. That separation is something that you have created from pain, from loss, okay, from humiliation, from shame, from guilt, from all of these things that we kind of pick up along the human journey. And we are taught that these are all important qualities to be responsible, which is absolutely BS. But you're figuring this out. You're looking around your life going, this isn't enough. This isn't, you can't piss your life away studying or watching TV and really living, right? We've talked in Second Sunday about the survival game versus the thriving game. We've talked in Second Sunday about the biohacking process. We've done the webinar. We've given you all of this information, but right now in September, when things are designed to fall away, there is also things that are going to step to the forefront. Because in order for you to fulfill your own prophecy, which is to become all of yourself, the most amazing people in the world that have your attention right now, okay, whoever that is, has more pieces of themselves than you might have together. That is the only thing that makes them appear bigger, or their volume higher, or a little bit wealthier, or a little bit more confident. That's it. The only thing that is the difference between how you feel about yourself right now and how you see the muse or your guru or your celebrity crush or whatever it is, the only difference is they have reconciled more pieces of themselves, and so their light has gotten brighter behind the wall of pain. You are literally the diamond that is sitting in the coal, and the coal is built from the trauma body, the pain body, the ego. The ego then is the personality that is developed out of trauma. Trauma begins to vibrate its own frequency. Then it becomes to have a personality, as if you birthed it. Okay, it's going to have a bunch of critical, judgmental, protective, defensive, blaming, small-minded, asleep, ignorant, racist qualities about it. And it doesn't matter who you are on the planet. If you have pain, body, egoic personality, whether it's a spiritual ego or a human ego, okay, then you are going to have thoughts and feelings, discernments, choices, decisions, and attractions based on this pain body. People ask me all the time, Jess, why do I keep picking the wrong guy? Why do I keep, picking the wrong business partners? How come I keep spending money on courses that make me feel super excited and then halfway through it, it's not even really who I am? How come? Well, I've explained that your pain body has very different levels of excitement than your soul. All right? Your soul, when a truth resonates like a tuning fork to your soul, it will feel like a resonance, like familiar. Look at that word coming from family. It'll feel like a connection. It'll feel like peace. It'll feel like the logical next step. It'll feel like you just stepped down on a step and then the next step appeared. It won't be grandiose, all right? It will not be grandiose because it's not coming from the extremes of the brain's hormonal addiction. It's coming from the center point, which is balance. Now, when you're going up and down, it gives you adrenaline. Okay. When you are balancing, you have peace. Okay. In our biohacking program that some of you are about to go on in the UK, we do a 2-point quantum meditation hypnosis on a balance board. The reason why is because you have a 3-foot field around you of energy that you are responsible for and is responsible for you. Now, when you are in alignment of this field, it's a force field, which means empaths out there, you can't take anybody's crap. You don't take it because it's not available. You can feel their headache in a awareness way, but you don't feel the headache. Okay. You feel the suffering, but it's more coming from a compassionate experience, not a sympathy. When you are experiencing the same pain as the outside world that you see, moms, friends, rescuers, healers, it is because your force field is deactivated and that energy is getting in instead of just being aware of the situation, you're feeling it. This is where you're going to be in sympathy. Sympathy is I will suffer with you to show you I love you. That means both of you are going to sink in the ship. When you have a force field 3 feet around you, you are going to be in a compassionate experience where, wow, you got a headache, don't you? Are you putting too much self-pressure on yourself? I believe you need to go take a break. Okay. I think you're doing a great job. I think you should look at all the amazing things you're doing. That's the difference between sympathy and compassion. When you recover your 3-foot field, then your vital health will start to increase. Your intuition that is not found in your mind, but in your guts, will start speaking and thinking for you in the form of more theta and gamma, which is I choose and I know, instead of what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Which is a beta and a constant alpha, right? Like I have to be on defensive and then I have to learn. I have to be defensive and I have to learn. This is a glitch that is found in a force field that has been damaged by trauma. So instead of having an etherical field that is maintained by the structure and dignity of your universal life source, you have to build a false security system around you. We call it walls, and it's built out of pain. So anything that feels like pain is going to bump up against you. And depending if it catches you off guard or blindsides you, it might spill out. If I'm holding a cup of coffee and I spill coffee, coffee's coming out. If you have pain inside of you and someone bumps up against you or triggers you, pain's coming out. And you're going to be quite asleep as it trickles out of you because pain is found in the unconscious and subconscious realms of what you're not able to manage 24 hours a day. Sometimes you are not behind the wheel, and sometimes there's another driver there, and the pain comes out. Now, empaths without a life force security system around you made out of cosmic strength, you're going to feel like the only time you feel true peace is if you're alone. You're going to feel like, I don't want relationships. I don't want to get close to people. I love people, but I loathe people. I don't want to feel people's pain. This world is not safe. I can't trust anyone. That's absolute bullshit. All right. The only thing, if you're ever having those thoughts, is, hey, my field is damaged. My field is damaged, which is going to put my immunity on high alert. My nervous system is going to have a glitch, which means fight, flight, freeze, fawn, friend, 24 hours a day. You're negotiating. You're looking through manipulation and how you can make a living. You're looking through the eyes of lack and scarcity when you're picking your desires. And therefore, law of attraction is going to be giving you your attraction based on what you're trying to manipulate versus who you are. Who you are. This is what this entire year is teaching us. It's tough love, guys. We're all getting smacked in the face with this. Every one of us from different levels of our awareness. And on those different levels, we're coming into the mirror and we are taking responsibility, which used to be a word that would just make me cringe as a kid. Like, be responsible, Jess. Be responsible. Get your head out of the clouds. Stop being, get in this reality. And so when I started learning, that word was a huge trigger for me. But then when I unpacked it, responsibility means the ability to respond. It means that there is some sort of cry for help going on within me if I'm in pain, if I am triggered, if I feel alone, if I'm blocked, if I'm broke, if I'm angry, if I'm humiliated. There is a call for love inside of me, but it does not have the language of love to access it. It has the language of pain, which means it's going to show up as bad behavior. It's going to show up as manipulation. It's going to show up as gaslighting and stonewalling and all those juicy psychology words that we throw around now to determine other people's behavior that somehow is controlling you. But ultimately, all you have to do is get into your gooey center. That's it. That's what COVID was trying to teach us. Every negative is a shortcut on this planet. Doesn't matter how bad the world is. This is duality in non-duality, which means every single negative is a shortcut for you. If you look at it that way, if you're smacking your head against a wall, great. You've actually arrived at the next pain body for you to unpack, get to know, recalibrate, and integrate back in with the self-love that you've been working on this whole time. You see, you don't really have self-love if there's still parts of yourself that you're hiding from the world. You don't really have self-love if your volume is turned down in your family because you're afraid of what they're going to say. You don't really have self-love if you're not able to love someone else, dark parts of them as well. Okay. Now, this is heavy. This is some heavy shiz. But at the same time, those of us who have been in this grind for a very long time, we have been unpacking this, trying to make it easier after we've walked through it for you guys. And that's to me what biological biohacking is, or quantum biology. To me, that's what it is. It is the shortcut. It's the easy button. It isn't the years of manifesting trauma over and over again until you're so sick of yourself that you just want to stop. It's actually going and looking at each situation as an opportunity, as the next logical step, whether it's a smack in the face or you just got dumped or your bank account is at zero. It is your arrival point to look at the truth of who you have been avoiding. And ultimately, when you find those pieces of yourself, you're not really broke. You're not really lost. Guaranteed, if you feel that way, especially in your family, you're the one who was sent or had been chosen by yourself to come here and break generational trauma. You were the one that was like, I'm not letting this lineage go further than this. I'm not letting this happen anymore. I'm not letting this behavior happen anymore in my bloodline. But because you're the one that's stopping the river, you're going to get, they're the scapegoat. You're going to be the black sheep. You're the troublemaker. You're the non-compliance. Okay. You're the divergent. You know what? These are all compliments. All of them compliments. Now, this is what I see a lot in the spiritual community is that you're all doing this work and you're like, yeah, this resonates. It's so good. It makes me feel like this is truth. But what are you doing about it? All right. If you aren't scared every day, if you aren't facing your own shadow every day and getting to know it, this is not delete, delete, delete. This is a critical thought comes through, and I want you to turn towards it and say, tell me how you feel. Well, I think you're an idiot. Okay, tell me why we believe this about ourselves. Well, because we fail every time. We make bad choices. Good. Tell me when was the first time you felt like we made a bad choice and it ruined our life? We did this, this, and this. Good. Tell me more. Tell me more. And now you're saying, oh, I don't want to manifest that. Guess what? Now you're in acceptance. Acceptance is the frequency of love. And you're going to actually start manifesting abundance if you turn towards your own darkness and have a conversation. Listen without solving a problem. Sit with them in the dark and let them tell you all the worst things about yourself so you can pull the root and you can find out where all these lies started, because your behavior of I'm not good enough or my worth is a challenge has kept you in service and made you rescuing people and doing everybody's job because that's how you found value in yourself, right? Being a people pleaser because that's how you found value in yourself, right? Most of us that are people pleasers, we're half dead, which means that we're rising from the crypt going, I just can't save one more person. It's time for me to turn towards myself and basically resurrect the life force energy that I have been giving away because it was the only value I thought I had. And when we realize that, then we get to start playing the villain in other people's movie, and we start to play the good guy in our own movie because people don't like it very much when you stop rescuing what they need rescued every week. Okay? Because a taker will keep taking. No matter how many times you solve their problems, no matter how many times you fix it, no matter how many times you spent hours on the phone guiding them. My little TikTok that I made was basically like, if you are that role for someone, you are not living your own life, which means you have to say, why? Be that 7-year-old. Why? Why do I care more about their problems than mine? Why do I want to give them a gift and not myself? Why do I want to hear them? Why do I want to help build my child? Why do I want to help do this and this and this? And why, when I think about doing it for myself, I don't really feel like I need it. I don't feel like I really feel motivated to do that. I don't really feel like that's my calling to do for me. I feel like my calling is to be a service. I want you to ask yourself why. It probably, if you pull a thread, it's either because you're not allowed to, you're not good enough, right? And they say those who can't do teach, and I would say I absolutely fell into that category up until 2 years ago. And then 2 years ago, when I fell flat on my own ass, I realized that I was teaching more than I was living. And my life pulled the rug out from underneath me and said, time to prove it, Blondie, and get off your ass and get out of the classroom and start working on your baggage, the stuff that you haven't integrated. Because it's like, I know what we do as teachers. We get some shadow work done and we're like, whew, I feel so light. And we jump back out there. But it's in layers. It's in major, major layers. And so as it starts to come up, you start to get excited because you're like, ooh, if this is coming up, this means that if I can turn towards this and I can talk to this part of myself and I can reconcile and reconnect and integrate this piece, that there is no such thing as bad. There is only separated. There is only absence of love. And there is pieces of you that you believe that are unlovable. There are things that you think you've done that don't deserve love. There are things that other people have done that you don't believe they deserve love. There are so-called icky things happening on this planet that you would be disgusted by, but whatever triggers you is inside of you. And your job is to look at two things as your motivating factors in life right now. Look at all of your triggers as the next logical step, and look at all of your inspirations as the next logical step. Now, I don't mean hope. Hope is a drug. Hope is like, well, I hope it works. And I hope this time he's the right guy. And I hope this time, he's going to see me or she's going to hear me. Or I hope this time this works. Hope is coming from lack. And if you're making choices in lack, hope will take you up into an ecstasy experience where now you can scenario all kinds of amazing salvations and wonderful things that can happen. Now you've created expectations in someone else or someplace or something that they are guaranteed not going to live up to because you're not living up to your end of your own bargain. Which means if you're not able to do everything you want from someone else, if you cannot give yourself everything right now that you want from someone else, they're going to let you down because like attracts like. We think this as women, right? Well, who do I want to attract? I want to attract this, and I want this partner who's going to see me and who's going to hear me, who's going to value me. Okay, are you hearing yourself, valuing yourself, seeing yourself, right? Because again, the parts of you that you're not seeing, he won't either. The parts of you don't value or that you're hiding, he's going to point out, right? And you're going to be like, you're a narcissist. And they're going to be like, okay, well, you're a narcissist, right? And basically, it's just the empathic nature of you is to feel what everyone else is feeling. The wounded empath is not taking your own feelings into account when you feel other people's pain. If I feel someone's headache, right, and I feel the headache, instead of going, hey, you have a headache, like, do you want some medicine or energy work or something? If I can feel your headache, it's my headache too. So maybe I'm not having that full-blown headache, but I'm having the ghosted version of it. I'm possessed by it in this moment. So I'm going to sit with myself and go, where am I putting too much pressure on myself? Hey, does your low back hurt? Because I can feel it all the way over here. Now my low back's hurting. So can you take care of that, please? No. Your low back hurts. You're not feeling supported. My low back hurts. I'm not feeling supported, but not by my partner, by me. Where am I not supporting myself, right? So there's so much that we can do just in conversations with ourselves, okay? Debate your own ego. Okay, how come this is true? We don't feel worthy. Good. How come this isn't true? Why am I not worthy? Let it talk to you. You'll realize that it's just a broken record that's just going to say it. It doesn't got any other information except you're not worthy or you're not good enough. Or if you ask it, you're going to start to see that it's just kind of like an AI robot in there going, you're not good enough. Okay, but why? Well, because you did this. And it's always going to come from memories. Now, let's talk about trauma in the brain really quickly. All right? When you have a trauma, and this means that all trauma is the forced separation of self, okay? Whether that's abuse, whether it's neglect, whether it's over nurturing, whether it's an accident, pressure, it's an impact, it's some sort of chemical poisoning. It can be, there's probably a million different traumatic experiences that you could have. But each time that you're in your center, you get pushed out of your center and you either go left or right, okay? Your body goes like this and it cannot stabilize on its own, then basically it causes a nervous system reaction that now records that, not like a regular memory, not the full story, not everything. This is why your most traumatic events, especially if you've had a lot of energy work done, you'll always go back to like the 6 big ones, but you don't have the whole story. You have the moments, you have the recollection. It's very blurry. You don't have the whole entire track there. You can't tell the whole story. It's fuzzy because it doesn't record the same way in the brain because of when the body is in fight or flight, things are all shaken up, see? And so trauma goes to every cell of your body because you're all mixed up. And your body is in a 911 and it needs to let the whole system know that there is danger. So the whole system is in danger. And so the part of your brain that records memories is not even fully aware that anything is actually happening, because it's like an earthquake. So it doesn't record it as a full memory. So when you start to get into quantum hypnosis, okay, the idea of talking to yourself, talking to the good parts, talking to the bad parts, realizing you are an observer, that you can talk to the part of you that is looking at pain, that you can see the part of you that is in pain. Then, and what you want more than anything else is to blame someone else, or to have someone else see this pain inside of you and love it. You will not be able to get a smile from that mirror until there is a smile from you, which means that when you begin to ask yourself these deep, deep, deep questions, then what happens is the false truths within you begin to fall away. And this is where we are. It's the perfect part of our ascension. We're letting these old false untruths fall away from us. We're all abundant. We all have the same valve. Hopefully you go to your water right now and you turn it on, and you're going to get water as long as you want it. Okay. When you've had enough, you can turn it off. Your abundance works exactly the same way. All right. Your freedom works exactly the same way. But you have to realize that it's you who's turning it off and on. It's you. There are times where you're at the finish line, but if you have a pain body full of guilt and shame, you're going to punish yourself. If you have humiliation of what people are going to think of you, you're not going to let yourself go. You could be a star inside, a performer inside, an actor, a singer, a writer, a musician, whatever. But if you have a story that someone else's belief in you may change how you see yourself, you might not actually get there, which means you'll create an event, you'll sabotage yourself, or you'll hit an echo that you take as a sign that you shouldn't go forward. This is really, really heavy stuff here, but it's super cool how easy it is when you pull yourself out of the story, when you pull yourself out of your stories and look at everything. Look at all of your stop points right now. Where do I feel stopped? Where do I feel blocked? Where do I feel trapped? Where do I feel unsupported? Where do I feel alone? Where do I feel like I don't know what my next step is? All right. So all you do is we play the opposite game. You say, okay, well, I can't do that, but what can I do? Okay, I don't know that, but what do I know? I can't experience that, but what can I experience? Right? Because again, how you get into the center point is you have to be in a state of non-duality. That is the sweet spot. Non-duality, which means it's okay yes and it's okay no. It's contentment, it's 0 point, it's the leading edge, it's right there in the middle where you are complete, incomplete. All right. There's a satisfied vibration in that moment. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great. Okay. So in that moment, you will be able to reset and recalibrate your entire nervous system, your entire biological computer that way. But your brain is very addicted to this. It's so addicted to this. Ladies out there, if you've been dating for a long time, I'm going to show you a pattern, okay? And especially strong women, right? We get out there, we put ourselves out there, and you're like this. So you're going to attract this relationship. And so then you're going to try to do this, which means that first relationship is going to perpetrate against you. He used me. Then you're going to attract the next one where you perpetrate them. He was a loser. The next one is a perpetrator. The next one is a victim. Which stage are you at right now? This could be with bosses. This could be with jobs. This could be with money. You could get a bunch of money. You could blow through it. And then all of a sudden there's no money. So I'm a perpetrator of money, and then I'm a victim of money. I'm a perpetrator of money, and then I'm a victim of money. Look at your victim and perpetrator with time. Look at it with relationships. Look at it with your health, right? Oh, I'm going to starve today so I can eat tomorrow. I'm going to work out really, really hard and get skinny, okay, so that I can be beautiful. This is this. Look at where you're doing this right now, and you'll look at the definition of survival. I can't move forward. I can't be anywhere else except trying to balance. And the only way that I can balance is to take the past and the future and try to use that as the leverage. Now, where is the sweet spot? Getting into the middle, in the present moment. The present moment is where you ask the past and the future questions. Why do we assume that this is going to happen again, future? Okay, past, how did we really feel when this happened? Were we really unworthy, or was someone who was raising us feeling unworthy and they downloaded that frequency into our brain because we were in theta and alpha and we just took it on like a sponge? Was it even my belief? Or does it make me a good person to play small? Does it make me a good person to let other people have the spotlight? Does it make me a better person because I feel guilty that I have talents that other people don't have? I mean, you'll figure it out if you start asking yourself the questions. So things are going to be lost this year and things are going to be found. Things are going to go away that are not serving you, and things are going to stay that are serving you. So in our hypnosis and our questions, that the biohacking work that you can do on your own before you can get into the torture chamber, just kidding, but getting into our process of eliminating this pain body within you, you've got to get deep into the body to do that. You can start actually biohacking this by simply getting to know the parts of yourself that are stopping you. Talk to your procrastination, talk to your failure, talk to your negative habits, talk to your addictions, talk to your judgment. Why are we judging that person right now? If judgment is a safety precaution, why do I not feel safe about myself in this story? And so I have a decision that I'm going to make about them. Okay. Why do I feel like I'm not smart enough? Why do I feel like so-and-so has an easier life than me? Why do I feel better than them? Why do I feel like they're an idiot? Why do I feel like they're playing small and I'm bigger than them, yet they have more money than me? Right? That's one I hear all the time. You guys get online with me and go, "Oh, my partner is such an idiot, and like he's just so asleep and he has no idea what's going on." And I'm like, "Okay, then why are you with him?" "Well, he pays my bills." "Well, if he's asleep, how's he making money? You're not." Right? That's a tough one, okay? Because you better study the parts of him that know what they're doing. "Well, he has to work every day very, very hard, and I just don't want to do that." But working very hard is not how money is created in the universe. It's a flow. It's be like water, right? Where are you not being like water? "Well, I'm stuck." "Why?" "Well, he won't let me be myself." "Well, why won't he let me be myself?" "Because he doesn't like it when I'm really big and shiny." "Why?" "I don't know." "Well, why don't you dig and find out?" "Well, because maybe he doesn't feel big and shiny, and if you feel big and shiny, you're going to leave him." Okay? Ladies out there who are big and shiny, and you get into a relationship. Why is it within 3 months you don't feel so shiny? Probably because you chose someone who didn't feel shiny, at least as big as you, and their job is to make you feel less than so that you are the same vibration as them. And your love language is to be an empath. And so now you're mimicking their vibration and haven't even realized what's going on. Okay? So things are going to be lost this year and things are going to be found. This is not the year to be focused on the black or the white. This is the year to get into the quantum hypnosis of asking the questions: what, why, when, how, like where. And no one else except this 3-foot relationship of the me, myself, and I. If you're blocked, you better talk to the me within you, my ego. If your body hurts, you better be talking to the myself, the body, right? If you have a great idea that you cannot create in physical reality, talk to your I am, okay? And this will start to create a new relationship, the one you all dream about outside of you. It will start happening on the inside. The inside universe creates the fabric of matter. Matter materializes, materialization of your infinite reality outside of you. And just like you find out someone who really is after 3 months of doing this, you'll start to see the evidence of this new you on the outside of your life. People do hear and see you. People give you compliments. People are telling you you're awesome. You don't feel inspired to rescue anybody. Instead, what do you feel like doing? Healers, rescuers, doormats, right? Empaths. What is going to be your natural state? Do you feel like I'm going to put you out of a job? No. Your natural state is to demonstrate. Demonstrate your light, demonstrate your joy, demonstrate your abundance, demonstrate your freedom, demonstrate your gifts not by pulling someone else out of the mud, but dancing on the sideline, reminding them that they can dance on the sideline with you, and they will pull themselves out of the mud. They will turn on their GPS. They will pull themselves out of the mud. Your job right now, empaths, is to hold space and demonstrate. Let's throw out the first level of manifestation that we call desire, that's always coming from lack, and replace it with the word demonstrate. If you start demonstrating all of your desires to the best of your ability, okay, now you're going to be like, well, I can't demonstrate buying a new house, Jess. I want a new house. Yes, you can. But you have to pretend. You have to do as much as you can do where you are with what you have and what you know. That's all the universe is ever asking you for, is use what you have, where you are, with what you know, and what you can do right now to demonstrate every ounce of your desire in physical reality as if it was already there, happened. We call it the practice, prepare, play, right? Practice demonstrating your desire. Practice, prepare for it, make space for it, right? Play, surrender, 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 let it go. Posture, who is the character of my true desire and how may I demonstrate her now? If you think, well, I want to be married and I want to be a wife and I want babies, how can I demonstrate that? Well, are you a good partner to yourself? Right? Do you know your inner child? Are you keeping your own word? Are you loyal to yourself? Is there, comprehension and communication going on here? Is there allowance? Is there joy? Because as a mother, I know that there are two frequencies that make me a good parent. Okay? One, keeping my damn word. If I say it, I mean it. And I got to show up. Okay? Number two, consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. I guarantee if you feel stuck, blocked, trapped, or alone right now, you're not being consistent with the relationship that you're building within yourself. You're being good until you feel good and then you let it go. You're being good until someone else comes in and then you're letting yourselves go. You're getting distracted. You're making another relationship outside of yourself more important than rebuilding this relationship. When this relationship is rebuilt, your force field comes back online, your nervous system regulates, your immunity is at the peak of your game. Now the pineal gland and the 7 chakras can start working on that magical higher level DNA that is inside of you, going, wonder when she's going to wake the hell up and start doing what she says she's going to do, so we can start being more immortal here and turn back the clock. Because the only way that your immune system is constantly compromised is because you don't feel safe with yourself. You don't trust yourself. You don't know yourself. You know other people. You probably know the muses, your celebrity crushes, your gurus, your best friends, your spouses, your kids better than you know yourself. And therefore, the universe will act like it's punishing you because you're supposed to be the center of the universe. Find your center for September. September is find your center, okay? And that is, if you can't get to a biohacking center, okay, and start squeezing that pain out of your body through all kinds of pressure points, you can have those uncomfortable situational conversations with yourself. And if you keep getting off track and forgetting, look in the mirror and do it, record yourself and do it, video self your do it, take notes. Get another medium to act as the middleman between you, and allow there to be an observer, okay? And if you feel really, really lost, get a mentor who can act as the mirror or the guide. Find someone who is going to help you, allow you to unpack your baggage safely in their environment, all right? Because you won't get further than your baggage at this point. Because the definition of enlightenment is to lighten up. And if your bags are too heavy, 5D, which is I choose my own reality, right, is going to be constantly, deplaning. You're on, you're off, you're on, you're off. Your bags are too heavy. Your bags are too heavy. I just found out I can only have, 50 pounds going to Ireland, and I've got to bring all this biohacking equipment. So I'm like, I got to lighten this up. You see? So it's like, the universe is not punishing you. It's just saying your bags are too full. Now, It's not too full of love. It's not too full of light. It's not too full of joy, because these are all very, very, very light frequencies. And therefore, they do not take up any space. They do not take up any data. They don't take up any memory, because they are constant in a state of motion. Dense energy, memories, traumatic experience, pain, injuries that have not healed correctly in your body are what's weighing you down. Now, you can have emotional injury that has not healed properly. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this. Think about this. If you keep attracting the same type of person, or the same type of money thing, or the same type of fears, I want you to ask yourself, what emotional injury have I had in my life that is not healing properly? Okay. And I guarantee the reason why it's not healing properly is the same as the physical. Okay. Your body was not in the right place to, like, your posture was not correct for it to go back into a normal space. Someone kept poking it. Okay. You weren't safe to heal it, which means the wound has been open this whole time, or you've been ignoring it. That's it. That is the only way that an emotional injury can continue to feel pain in this now moment, is if through some sort of resistance or lower vibration, you are keeping it alive, and therefore it's still a part of your baggage, even though it happened 35 years ago. That's why when a lot of people started waking up and they started remembering some of their abuse in childhood, they can find it in their current relationship. Different story, different person, same feeling of shame, same feeling of not safe, same lack, same worth issues. So if you pull the thread, you're going to look and find that you're just on one big loop. It's a roller coaster, and that hope drug gets real exciting because it's exhilarating, but then you smack right at the beginning of the scene of the crime, and you find yourself alone, broke, shattered, feeling, defeated, feeling like a failure. And when you get to that moment, I want you to get really excited and be like, I'm exactly where this part of me is, so that I can pick myself back up. This isn't the time where you go, I need a new shirt, I need a new man, I need some more money. This is the time where you go, this is where I need to be. All right. And ultimately, this month, if things are going and things are coming, and you're finding yourself getting more into the balance, look at where you are balanced. Okay. Study your own alignment. Like, oh, I'm really aligned over here, but I'm not aligned over there. Great. What am I doing over here that I'm not doing over here? Well, I care more about that over there, and I need that to work out more. Why? Find the trauma. Because you'll notice the things that are going right and smooth are the things that you don't have a lot of trauma connected to. The things that you don't have a lot of need it to have. Remember, ego is need, inner child is want, higher self is is. It just is. If you find yourself, it is, higher self. I want, I don't need, inner child. Create, create, create. Need is the lower pain body speaking. I need you to hear me. I need to be right. I need to leave. I need more money. I need this. I need that. Be honest with yourself, because if you keep finding something to fill your need, you're going to need more after. If you solve a problem with a problem, you're going to have a bigger problem. Now, the energy on the planet is getting more intense, right? It's just like we are officially in every kind of weather right now. And it's going to be great if you find the eye of the storm. You'll notice everything happening around you as divine order. You'll notice everything around you as perfect, even if it's slightly uncomfortable. Your life is conditioning you to be the person you say you want to be. Your life is bringing you to the stuck points so that you can unstuck yourself. This is where the relationship with you is rebuilt, and the me, myself, and I become one, and that oneness begins to move in a state of ecstasy and joy, but not like pain and reward. Not like, ooh, I can't wait because I'm so starving to death. If you are in a starvation frequency, you're probably getting breadcrumbs from a relationship, from a job, from somewhere. It's keeping you alive. And so you are kind of stuck to it because it's your food source, whether it's a relationship, a job, money, something. But you are not here for breadcrumbs. You are not. You're here to be the whole bread. You're here to have the bread. You're here to win the bread. You're here to have every experience. And the only thing stopping you in your way is the ghost of the past, the pain that has been unresolved, the trauma that has been, avoided or buried somewhere deep into the body, and you have injuries that haven't been healed correctly. You need a safe space. Your home reflects the inside of your universe. Your 5 closest people around you is the direct reflection of who you are, all right? Because power of influence. And what it is you're studying, I want you to say, I'm studying this, but I know this. Jess said I don't need to study anymore. I just need to remember. If you are in the classroom because you don't feel smart enough, talk to yourself about why. You are as old as the universe. You didn't come here to study. Now, your studies have helped you remember, but it's time for you to be the teacher, right? It's time for you to step into the light. And some of you are terrified of the light. Do it anyways, right? Things are going to fall. People are going to come. There's a lot of seasonal relationships right now. People and places coming to you for this season of your life, this season for you. Now, if you're in this part of the world, you're going to experience fall, right? This part of the world, you're going to have summer. It's all perfect for where you are if you would pay attention and find your center. Check in with yourself 6 times a day and find out where you're absent from yourself, okay? Use your breath to get back into your belly so that you can start getting your thoughts and feelings more from your gut, get your posture aligned, and find a biohacking center and go for it because, come on, you deserve the easy button. We're going to take you through an extreme process that is basically 6 days long. And over this 6-day experience, it is not scary. It is amazing because basically the endorphins that you get from the reconciliation of your whole stream coming back into one alignment feels kind of like you won the World Series. So I highly recommend it. Plus, getting into that balance point is not about waiting another 10 years to be the butterfly. It is about getting to the butterfly point now and learning how to be free in this moment and practicing your abundance and practicing your magic and showing up for yourself and showing up for other people and demonstrate. So replace your desires with demonstrate, and then you'll find all of your trauma where you can't demonstrate. That's this easy button. Okay, if I desire, it's not my job to ask the universe. It's my job to practice, prepare, and play. Posture, which means character, practice, prepare, play. Now, if I can't practice, there's trauma. If I can't prepare, there's trauma. If I can't surrender and play, there's trauma. So right there in the 7 steps of manifestation that I gave you guys 100,000 years ago, the first one is where all of the patterns are, and desire is hidden in the root. The root chakra, the root of you, the root of suffering, the root of the story, the root of the scene of the crime is going to be found in desire. So don't go past desire if you can't posture, practice, prepare, and play. And you won't have to have failed relationships anymore. You won't have to run through the 7 steps of manifestation and get the wrong person, get the money that's attached to the, conditions, not the loan. Like, you're going to be more in the flow. You're going to be, remember, I just did this webinar where it's kind of like grounded on the airplane, in the turbulence of the airplane, or in the jet stream. Okay. Turbulence is when you're walking through and healing. You're facing your crap. You're moving into alignment. That pressure is just going, but you're just going to keep going. And then you're going to hit that jet stream. Pretty soon, you won't have the jet stream that falls into the grounding constantly, because your brain is so addicted to pain and pleasure that the higher you go, the lower you go, right? So if you haven't seen the webinar, check it out. If you haven't watched all the videos that I've been making about manifestation and how biohacking works, check it out. See what is resonant with you. If I trigger you, wonderful. That is my job. I'm here to inspire you and trigger you. That is my job through my demonstration. And therefore, when I demonstrate, I get triggered of my own and I get inspired by myself. And therefore, I can walk on my own path faster. 2 people I did biohacking analysis this week on, they said, Jess, you triggered me so bad. And I was like, yes. Why? I don't know what it is about you. You scare me and I'm kind of annoyed by you. And good, yes. Good, because the things that trigger you, unfortunately, pain is your first teacher until you get to 5D. Pain will be your teacher until you get to 5D. Then love will be your teacher. Yay! Love is the one who's going to teach you how to fly as a butterfly. Pain is the one who's going to tell you to stop being a caterpillar. All right. Thank you guys for joining me for September. And I will see you soon, either in the classroom. We have our alchemy class that's going to go for 4 more months, I think. And we have our quantum fitness virtual training online. If you can't get to one of the biohacking centers, I've got tons of YouTube videos on my channel. My website, jessicaalstrom.com. My physical location, the mothership, is in Kansas City, which is in the US. But we are opening up facilities all over the world. By this time next year, it'll be a hop, skip, and a jump to find one. And it is the ultimate playground of the easy button. So thank you guys for joining me. And I hope that I either triggered you or inspired you today to either let something go or to go into something that you've been avoiding or resisting and have some serious intervention, conversations with yourself that is going to set you free. Because you know what? You freaking deserve it. You've been doing this for way too long, right? Definition of insanity. Let's stop. Let's just start to be the child within and play, 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 play. But instead of desire, practice demonstrate. You'll find all of the shadows that you need to heal right there in your demonstrations. All right? Stop looking at what other people are doing. Eyes on your own paper. Don't cheat. You can't fake this. There's too much shiny light on the planet now. The grids have all been activated. And your DNA is like, hey, are we going to be able to open soon and do really cool stuff with our body? Because this is the time and space where you can access all of that right now. So, and I hope you do. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the classroom in a couple of weeks. Some of you I'll see in Ireland, some of you I'll see in Spain, and some of you I'll see you back when our apothecary opens in October here in Kansas City. Lots more to come on that. And this is my year of demonstrating, so I'm making all my dreams come true, and it's been scary as hell and lonely, but it's happening because I've got me, myself, and I, and that's all you ever need. All right, see you guys soon. Bye-bye.